Alright guys, how's it going? So unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, or maybe on holiday like I have been, or I still am, probably heard about Elite Dangerous Horizons, which is a new season of expansions. This is curious, yeah? What is this season all about? Anyway, it's a new season of expansions starting holiday 2015, and it's going to cost 40 quid, and no wonder it's got an exclamation mark there. Right. Predictably, there's a lot of people up in arms about this, and there's another lot of people saying, yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. That's just what you read on the forums all the time. What I'm going to say before I give my opinion on this is that it's important to know that I'm pretty anti-corporate, and I'm very pro-consumer. It's just the way I've always been, yeah? I believe that companies basically exist to extract as much money out of you that they can. And if anybody doesn't believe that, then I've got a bridge that you might be interested in. There's a couple of things here that are slightly perturbing to me. A bit of consternation over one or two things. I've had a bit of a think about it, and in actual fact, it's pretty easy, yeah. I know what they're up to, yeah. It's pretty obvious to anybody who's really had a think about it, how this is all going to work out. Anyway, this new season of expansions, what you're basically getting is the ability to land on the surfaces of airless worlds. Now, it's been a few days since the announcement, so we're getting more information all the time. Holiday 2015, that's nice and simple, yeah, it's late 2015, probably around about Christmas time, because this is something that Frontier are going to be doing every year from now on. Christmas 2015, this is when you're going to get a season of expansions every year from now on. This is what they're going to do, trust me on this, yeah? Every year, Christmas, you're going to get a new season of expansions. Anyway, back to Horizons, right? Like I said, the landing at first will be on airless planets and moons. We've since found out that there's going to be 4 planet and moon types in the release to land on, yeah? So, ice, rock and ice, and metallic. So you've got a little bit of variety there. However, none of these places are going to be like, stunning vistas or anything like that. You've got ice, which is going to be white. You've got rock, which is going to be grey. This is going to be grey and white, and this will be, metallic coloured maybe. The gameplay extends seamlessly from space to surface, yeah, that's pretty good. However, there's going to be a kind of orbital cruise, like Super Cruise, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how they do it. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff as well. You've got your surface reconnaissance vehicle, which you can land and you can drive around. I mean, great, yeah? The only issue I've got is there's only these 4 planets, yeah? Ice, rock and ice, and metallic to start with. Now, later on, Future Horizons updates, we find out that atmospheric landings on planets with life will not be part of the Horizons release. That will come again in another paid expansion. Now, obviously a few people up in arms about this because the general consensus was, or the general thought train said that there would be one expansion for planetary landings. That's certainly what I believed. However, to be fair to Frontier, that's not actually what they've been saying. Certainly not in the past maybe a year or so, or certainly the past 6-7 months. They have been saying this is not how it's going to be. I've actually hunted down some of this, yeah? Like Elite Dangerous Newsletter 29. So this is like a very early newsletter. Number 29, what number are we at now? 90 or something? But very early on, they did say, we do intend to release small free updates after launch, which of course they have done, but expansions that include significant new features and content will be charged for separately. And they mentioned that their current roadmap is to add all this stuff. And they do actually say, if you look, landing, driving, prospecting on airless rocky planets, moons and asteroids, and then accessing richly detailed planetary surfaces. And in a further interview, David Braben himself did say the same thing again, that this is how they would go ahead and do it. So, any of us who were under the impression that this was going to be one expansion pack, we simply weren't paying enough attention. That's fair enough, yeah? You can sort of see where it's going though, right? Because with this season that they seem to have, invented out of nowhere, and what I said about every year, yeah, you're going to be getting further updates, more planetary landings, more types of bodies that you can land on every year. Michael Brooks, the executive producer, was asked on the forum, does that mean that planetary landing won't be expanded to planets with atmospheres and then life and civilization within the scope of the season? And he says, not within the season. Planets with life and atmospheres are further down the line. Now, a season is going to last a year, yeah, like I said. So that means we're going to have at least 2 seasons until we get what we're looking for. Really, we want to be landing on the nice worlds, yeah, those Earthlights, going down there for a look. I understand it, right? And it's like he said later on, when asked again, he says, we've always said that upcoming stages, it's a massive amount of development. And there is a massive amount of development. I always said there is no chance of us seeing planetary landings within a year. My issue with this is, just how far are they going to stretch this out? Clearly, as you start thinking about water worlds, and water worlds might be easy to do, in all honesty, yeah? A bunch of water, how hard can that be? But Earthlight worlds, a little bit more difficult. And then you want to think about, well, what about the habited worlds? And then what about the really huge habited worlds like Earth, for example? How far away are we from seeing that? Let's have a look in the game to see. Right, so let's just start off in Sol. Mercury. No atmosphere. This one's going to be landable. Yeah, you're going to be able to land on Mercury at least. Again, you've got stuff like the Moon, which you can land on. Io. What do you think? Would you be able to land on Io? I don't believe so, because they actually talk about it. You should be able to land on Io later, yeah, because it's got a lot of volcanism on it. And that was something they talked about as being later in Horizons. But to start with, I'm not sure that you're going to be able to do that. But let's see about that. Future Horizons updates. Yep, it does say here, right? So Future Planets updates in the Horizon season will include active volcanism and ice volcanism. At some point before fully rendered atmospheric planets with life, there will be ones with weather systems, right? That's pretty important to keep in mind. Pluto and Charon, yeah, you should be able to land on those. There's a lot of stuff that you can't land on. What happens next, yeah? You've got atmospheric places like Venus. No life, yeah? You're going to have to assume that life will be last. Or, like I said, places like Earth. I mean, remember Frontier, 1993, you could fly around the Golden Gate Bridge in Sydney Harbour, yeah? The Opera House, I think, if I remember correctly. That's a very, very long way away if they're only allowing us to land on no atmosphere planets, yeah? And then later on, they're going to be adding volcanism. And then you've got the gas giants. Are they going to do gas giants before you can land on Earth? It seems very likely because this stuff's easy. Yeah, this is the easiest stuff to do. Things like Uranus, Saturn, again, there's no life here, there's no structures. It's the structures on the ground that are going to be the big issue. Right, let's check out Achenar. This one should be nice and easy to land on, yeah? Again, volcanism, iron magma, even though it's got no atmosphere, this should come later in Horizons. And I would guess that in year 2, you may start being able to land on this stuff. But will they split it the same way? Yeah, look, you've got carbon dioxide atmosphere. There's nothing here, really, yeah? It's just like a kind of boiling rock type thing. Carbon dioxide atmosphere with silicate magma volcanism. But will they do the same thing again, where early on in the year you can land on atmospheric things, but maybe not the atmospheres with the volcanism, just atmospheres, with no volcanism? So that'd be 2 years for stuff like this. It's not all that exciting, is it? Yeah, when you think about it. We could be almost 2 years away from landing on something like this. Let's assume year 3 is going to be gas giants. There's a lot of different atmospheres in gas giants. That's going to be quite a big challenge, I would have thought, simply because of the differences in the atmospheres. Look at the differences in these. They're all different, yeah? Maybe this smooth stuff, not too much of a challenge, but you've got the bands. So again, yeah, it's hard to say, but for me, year 3 might be gas giants. So what's year 4 going to be then? There's another gas giant completely different from the rest. And here's an interesting thought, right? You've got rings around the planets. Presumably, when you're on the ground, you're going to be looking up and seeing these rings. I mean, that's quite a challenge when you think about it from a development perspective. It'll be interesting to see how they pull that one off. But these are the ones that we're really interested in. Almost certainly, though, it's going to be normal water worlds. That is, ones that doesn't have any life on it. Yeah? Or no structures, sorry. So maybe talking 4 or 5 years before you're able to land on something like this. Maybe even longer before you can land on Sol. It's like going back to what I said at the start, yeah, about me being, anti-corporate. One of the biggest problems with this is we're going to be paying £40, £50. Those of us who haven't got the lifetime expansion pass, yeah? Actually, I'm just going to talk about that now. Right, so as usual, I managed to do this arse backwards. I should have started with this, yeah? This is how you're going to purchase Horizons depending on what you've got. Let's just start with the nose. Do you currently own a copy of Elite Dangerous? The important thing here is you can buy Elite Dangerous Horizons on pre-order for £40 or $60. You can also get the beta pre-order for $50, so it's an extra £10 or $75, I guess. You can also buy the Lifetime Expansion Pass right now and never need to worry about paying for any more expansions. As you've just seen, this could be worth it. Although, you have to really think about it though. Do you really want to be giving them 130 quid up front for something that, you really want that could be years down the line? And if you do give them that money, then, where is their incentive to hurry things up? Or, what incentive do they have when they've already got the money? Anyway, like I was saying, the important thing here is, if you don't already own Elite Dangerous and you're planning on getting it, if you purchase one of these, you will not get access to Elite. Just the normal version of Elite, you don't get access to this until Horizons is ready, or until the Horizons beta is ready, yeah? So don't purchase these now thinking this gets you access to the game. You need to buy one of these ones, and then you'd have to buy Horizons later. You would, however, get your £10 loyalty discount, but that seems like a rather bad idea in all honesty, purchasing Elite right now. And then Horizons a couple of months later. Now, most of us have already got Elite, yeah? And over this right-hand side, these three here are all the guys that bought it through Kickstarter. Back the game on Kickstarter, yeah? So you've either got the Expansion Pass, the Alpha Edition, or Premium Beta. It says down here, anybody who basically paid over £80, you get Horizon, you get access to the beta, you get it all, yeah? For now and forever. Pretty good deal actually when you think about it for you guys, but that's what you get for backing it. You had the faith in them, they delivered, and now you reap the reward. Most of us are, around about here. We either got the standard beta, the mercenary edition. I personally paid £50 for it last November, just not that long before it was ready for general release. That also got me into the betas. Slightly annoying here, right? Because I was under the impression that the extra, me buying that got me access to all betas in future. But now, I've now got to re-buy that beta access for Horizons. That's a little bit annoying to me, going back to what I talked about. The extra tenner, I don't give a damn about the money, yeah? It's not about the money, it's about the feeling that I'm being squeezed. This is what I really don't like, and I know a lot of people must feel the same way about it, yeah? Having already bought beta access, and now I'm going to have to buy beta access again. And next year, I'm going to have to buy beta access again, and again, and again. Every year, I'm going to have to do that. This is starting to annoy me, yeah, just the thought about it. I actually did check the website, just to check if, they had actually specified that this got me beta access from this point onward, yeah? However, the page is no longer there. Slightly suspicious, yeah? I'm kind of cynical as well. You probably noticed. However, I don't know exactly what that said. I can't see it in my account or anything. I was certainly under the impression, though, that I would be getting beta access to all betas in future. As it is, that's basically another 50 quid over the next 5 years simply for beta access. Really quite annoying to me. And it's not just about the money, yeah? Like I said, it's that feeling of being milked that I just cannot stand. So yeah, the smart thing for me to do would be to buy the Lifetime Expansion Pass. £120, I get a tenner off it, yeah. It's normally £130. Because I've got Elite, I would get it for £120. This is a smart thing to do. However, this goes against everything I am to do this, yeah? You're basically handing money over to them and saying, here, take my money, I have faith in you to deliver. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely convinced that they will deliver. They've got some pretty good coders there, yeah, they're a good design team, there's no doubt about that. They will deliver, but it's like, what incentive do they have, yeah? Going back to what I was talking about maybe 4 or 5 years before we land on Earth. What if we didn't give them this money, yeah? How many of you guys have gone and bought the pre-order already? Can I ask you what you gained out of that? Maybe you felt good about buying it. Maybe you feel like you're supporting Frontier, yeah? You are supporting Frontier. However, you're also basically saying to them, you're willing to give them money on faith. They are a company, yeah? They look at this as a company would look at it. They think, well, I can split this up now. Instead of having one expansion for planetary landings, they weren't planning on that, as you already saw, yeah? yeah? Maybe they were only planning in 2 or 3, but what's to stop them? If we're just going to throw money at them, what's to stop them from spreading it out? Make it 2, 3, 4, 5 years. There is other stuff they're going to be adding as well, yeah? They've got to make these expansions enticing to the people who haven't bought the loyalty discounts, who haven't bought the lifetime expansion pass, yeah? So let's have a look at that and see what that could actually mean. So season 1's pretty simple. That has been everything we've got up till now. Up till patch 1.4, probably 1.5 as well, which is going to be your close quarters championship and probably some more ships. Season 2 next year. As we know, it's going to be landing on airless worlds to start with. Now, this next part, game-changing loot and crafting. This one apparently is also part of the Horizons update. I find this a little bit weird, yeah? It says here, the second major update for Elite Dangerous Horizons will release in Q1 2016, with more expansions to follow. This second major update will include additional gameplay-focused content, including an all-new game-changing loot and crafting system. It doesn't really sound very, planetary landings, this. And I'm not really sure how they can say stuff like game-changing, yeah, because some people won't be buying Horizons, yeah? So if this is truly game-changing, then it really will be changing the game for the people who don't upgrade. But anyway, that's going to be the second part of the Horizons expansion. Afterwards, we're going to get landing on active volcanism and landing on ice volcanism. This is basically what we're going to get for the whole of Season 2, yeah? This is what your 40 quid's buying you. So what about Season 3, yeah? We're 2 years away here. Walking around interiors and combative boarding of other ships. Remember this from the newsletter? Walking around interiors and combative boarding of other ships? That's not enough for an expansion costing £40, £50, yeah? Nobody's going to spend that on this. So they're going to have to entice us with other stuff. Well, it seems the simple way to do it is more planetary landings, yeah? Small atmospheric worlds. Again, it's not awesome, but it is yet more planetary landings. This is all just sort of helping to make the Season 3 expansion more worth it. They're going to have to add a little bit more than that though. They could probably add gas giants at this phase as well, but I'm not exactly sure about that. So I've basically come to the conclusion that Season 4, which is 3 years away, yeah, we will see planet landings, gas giants and amongst that. However, this is going to be, combat and other interactions with other players and AI in the internal areas of starports. Basically speaking, the first person shooter. That's probably big enough, yeah? I mean, this could be big for an expansion. This is one that I'm actually really looking forward to because it's going to be different from flying around in space. But they may also decide that gas giants can be flung in there as well. This part here, of course, comes from the newsletter again, newsletter 29. So we're on to Season 5 now, which is 4 years away. Accessing richly detailed planetary surfaces. Life, water worlds, earthlight worlds, ammonia worlds. 4 years just to get this. I mean, this is how I see it, yeah? And I'm pretty sure this is how they're seeing it as well. It may help to make it better, yeah? Obviously, when they've got 4 years development time on it. However, you have to wonder if the financial aspect is what's making it more important, yeah? Maybe 4 years later, you can see how this is going to be a big expansion, yeah? All of this. This could be the entire year just for this, but it's 4 years away. And this is about as far as I could imagine anyway. Season 6, which is 5 years away, you've got availability of giant executive control ships to players. And they may decide then to throw in something like capital worlds, yeah? Buildings, Earth, Achenar, structures on the ground. This is going to be massive though, so I mean this could actually be an expansion all of its own as well. You think about the differences in the architecture that could be between the Federation and the Empire and even the Alliance. I haven't even mentioned stuff like the Thargoids yet. They've obviously got an awful lot to do, yeah? I just kind of wondered and worried that they're going to push out these really nice planetary landings just to make it, these future expansions, just to give them that little bit more to entice the people who don't have the lifetime expansion pass, yeah? I mean, it's 5 years away. I can't ignore this, yeah? This is going to be massive for me. It's going to be another £40 unless I buy the lifetime expansion pass. And that is, as I said, something I do have an issue with. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to deal with this, yeah? There's certain things here that goes against my principles in a lot of ways. They said it wasn't going to be a pay monthly game or a subscription based game, but it is. You just don't pay every month, you pay it every year. And although you're maybe not paying £10 a month or $15 a month, you're probably paying a third of that if you just count it up. So what I would say is, you guys that got the lifetime expansion pass, you've really done pretty well out of it. However, the game can't survive on only that, and I just wonder if the price that you are actually paying is the delay in the stuff that you really want to see. As for the rest of us, I just wonder if you'd had known that it was going to be £250 or $375 and probably another 5 years before you can land on Earth, would you actually have bought the game in the first place? Try not to be too hard on me for this one. It's more of a vent than anything else. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.